Fresh Express Coleslaw, just $1.99 for a 14-ounce package. For your Cut Match Grilling, Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Wishbone salad dressing, just $3.49 for a 15-ounce bottle. Kingsford Match Light Charcoal, only $7.99 for a 3.1-pound bag. Blue Ribbon, white hot dog or hamburger rolls, just $3.59 for a 12-ounce package. Have a safe and happy Cut Match holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Wednesday, July the 24th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. She lost her eyesight due to illness and was left devastated. And now she has earned multiple university degrees and has helped to launch a charity to highlight the needs of people with disabilities. As Tarai Trott reports, Bermudian Sherry Lynn Lilly may no longer have her eyesight, but she still has a vision.
Bermudian Sherry Lynn Lilly lost her vision completely a decade ago. But it was not enough to stop her from achieving her goals.
I completed my bachelor's degree as a blind individual. So I started college as an adult in January of 2013 and completed my bachelor's degree in counseling and psychology. And at the same time, I completed an associate's degree in biblical studies. And now, in May, I completed all of my coursework towards my master's degree, so I have a certificate of completion for my master's degree, and I'll be returning this fall to do the required internship that's part of my mental health counseling master's degree.
Having lived in New York for 33 years, Ms. Lilly is back on the island to help launch the disability rights charity Inspire Bermuda, of which she is a founder and executive director. She teamed up with friend and fellow advocate Galia LeMay, the charity's co-founder and managing director. The pair have been making the rounds to raise awareness for the plight of people with disabilities, including vision, physical, and mental.
And that you can overcome whatever challenges are set before you. You know, it's not about the event. It's about your response to the event. But my main event was losing my sight. And there was a moment, about 2 weeks, but when it actually started to go rapidly, the last stage of it, around 10 years ago, there was a moment where I crawled into bed and pulled the covers over my head and just had to make some decisions.
She ultimately decided that she would not allow her setback to overcome her.
Picked myself up, made the phone calls I needed to make to figure out how I was going to live with blindness.
Ms. Lilly teamed up with Ms. LeMay in April to tour the island schools to spread their message.
Some were intrigued. They were very intrigued with the tools that Sherry Lynn was able to show them. And they came up and they were guessing. They were saying, and when we asked what they were like, maybe that's a charger or that's a this. They had all kinds of things. They never guessed exactly what it was, but when they found out what it was, they were really excited.
Most people are oblivious to the day-to-day challenges for blind people who often find navigating the island to be difficult due to the island's lack of disability standards.
One of the things that I struggle with a little bit is how close the traffic is. So I use my hearing for everything, and I'm used to just running around New York City easily. But when we get outside of the city, Bermuda's terrain is treacherous.
Ms. LeMay believes it should be mandatory for everyone to receive what she calls sensitivity training. She gave us some examples of insensitivity.
It can reach the level of disgusting, where you'll have people who will not speak to Sherry Lynn. Now, Sherry Lynn has 3 degrees. They'll speak to me or they'll speak to those around her. We were at a restaurant that we love. The person walked over and they took our order, and then they said, and what does she want? And so Sherry Lynn actually responded and said, she? And then the lady still looked at me to take our order.
You can learn more about their charity, Inspire Bermuda, by looking them up on Facebook.
That was Tarai Trott reporting. The charity, which is registered with the Bermuda government, will be holding an information session this Saturday at the BIU building from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. They've said they could use volunteers, office space, and help with establishing a website. A very good cause there. Now, Craig Cannonier, leader of the opposition One Bermuda Alliance, is urging Premier David Burt to publicly censure Colonel David Birch, the Minister of Public Works, over a series of offensive remarks that, according to Mr. Cannonier, undermine the status of minister. He states in a release, Lieutenant Colonel Birch has dismayed us all with his regular use of misogynistic remarks, like telling my colleague Pat Gorn-Pamplin that she carries the water, his pejorative use of the words like Indian in reference to our Chief Justice, and recently he used parliamentary privilege to try and undermine an independent senator. Mr. Cannonier continues, he has criticized his fellow Bermudians, saying in the House that his countrymen had evolved into self-centered, selfish, and an uncaring public who look to the government to solve all their personal issues up to and including changing their diapers. Mr. Cannonier argues that as a minister, Colonel Birch should be held to a high standard, but he consistently falls below that. The opposition leader questions, is this the kind of behavior the Premier wants to see from his ministers? Is he happy that a minister has deliberately attacked his fellow Bermudians? The Premier should tell us where he stands. He adds, by being silent, we have to assume he not only condones this kind of behavior, but agrees with what's said. End quote. And up next, St. George's Cricket Club receives a hefty donation to assist with Cup Match Classic preparations. Plus, the latest in weather news. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It was back in 2008, while watching the Beijing Olympics, that Jesse Washington first envisioned representing Bermuda in the pool. Just 2 years later, he competed in his first international meet in Florida, and hasn't looked back since. His proudest moment came in 2015 with victory in the Canadian Age Group Championships, when he shaved 2 seconds off his personal best time. Jesse's talent was first spotted at White's Island Swim Camp. He swam for Purvis Primary School and was picked up by the Shark Swim Club. As well as the Pan Am Games, he also has his eye on the World Championships and Olympic Games in 2020.
I was the poster child of health. I exercised, I ate fruits and vegetables, and went to bed early. I was convinced that I was throwing away my money paying health insurance every month. Then I had a bike accident and things changed. Thankfully, everything was covered by my insurance. I was one of the lucky ones. Some of my boys don't even have insurance.
Imagine a Bermuda where every person has access to the care they need when they need it most. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Thanks for staying with us. The St. George's Cricket Club, home of the 2019 Cup Match Classic, was today gifted with a $75,000 donation from the Bermuda government. Premier David Burt presented Club President Neil Painter and Vice President Michelle Painter with a check, joined by St. George's MPs Renee Ming, Levita Fogo, Tiffany Painter, Wayne Ferbert, and Kim Swan. Funds will go towards assisting the club with preparing the cricket grounds and facilities required for the two-day event, which can attract thousands of spectators. This year's match will be in honor of the life and legacy of Mary Prince, a Bermudian abolitionist and author, in recognition of the emancipation of slavery in Bermuda.
Cup Match is my favorite Bermuda tradition. My family and I love being at the field, enjoying the festive atmosphere, and sharing the best of Bermuda with our extended family and friends. As always, we look forward to supporting our respective teams. Cup Match is also a very busy time for the host club. An incredible amount of time, effort, and resources are spent preparing the host club and grounds for several months leading up to the big game. This involves getting the pitch primed and ready, upgrading the club facilities as needed, and ensuring that the scaffolding around the field is safely constructed. There is a significant financial investment in this event. The host clubs are appreciative of the corporate community for their sponsorship and support, and this government believes that the corporate community should not be alone. That is why today, soon, it will be my honor to present a check for $75,000 to the St. George's Cricket Club on behalf of the government of Bermuda to help to sponsor this annual event.
St. George's Cricket Club President Neil Painter thanked the government for their donation and gave us an update on how preparations are shaping up ahead of the first bowl next Thursday.
It is our most anticipated holiday in Bermuda, where all walks of life, visitors and locals alike, come to enjoy a two-day match steeped in tradition and celebrating the emancipation of slaves in Bermuda. Let me say first, it is indeed a pleasure and honor to receive this check from the government of Bermuda, because as they know, this is a huge investment in a community club that is run by all, if not many, volunteers. So this will go a long way to ensuring that not only this event is successful, but that our club moves onward and upward as we move and as we support our community in St. George's, and we do say thank you. Our management team has been working diligently for the last, say, 6 months to ensure that this event goes off without any hitch. So we are well ahead of the game. I think the only thing that we really need to do is on Monday, if the weather's well, put the tarpaulins up and then hope for 2 wonderful days of cricket so that Bermuda can be entertained. You can expect to be entertained not only by the players, but by all the festivity that is around. Look at the traditions. We just want everyone to come and enjoy themselves, because as you know, we may not see people for 365 days in Bermuda, but when it comes to cup matches, almost like you saw them yesterday. So the family traditions, the festivities, let's enjoy all the good food and all the camaraderie that goes with cup match.
The Public Works Ministry is urging residents to conserve water to minimize the impact of possible water shortages this summer. A ministry spokesperson said, "We are already experiencing significantly hot temperatures this summer, and along with the hot, humid weather comes an increase in water usage. Residents will know that Bermuda has a high reliance on rainwater collection. When the rains are scarce, the government water supply and the Bermuda Waterworks supply are put under major stress. If Bermuda's unique water system is to continue to meet the needs of our community, it is critical that we exercise good water conservation habits. Among tips for residents, use a bucket, not a hose, to wash cars, take quick showers, inspect water tanks and plumbing fixtures regularly, and do not order more water than's necessary." And weather now. Let's see what's in store for us for the remainder of the week. AccuWeather brings us the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. We've had some scattered thunderstorms, mainly south and west of the island today, and it's been really warm out there. There is a thunderstorm advisory in effect through this evening and into tonight because of these thunderstorms that are lurking to the south and west. Even this guy to the east produced a couple of isolated lightning strikes. So we've been kind of surrounded by some storms on 3 sides at times. It's warm out there. We spent much of the afternoon at the 88-degree benchmark, similar to yesterday, and we're still warm, very warm this evening. Water temp is toasty, 86-degree water temperature, a little early in the season for this. Wind is active from the southwest, producing 1 to 2 foot waves on the inside, 3 to 6 footers on the outside periphery of the island. And there is our thunderstorm advisory in effect through tonight. So upcoming tides, low tide coming up next at 8:49, and a high tide early in the morning, late tonight really, and then another low tide in the mid-morning, high tide to follow at 3:34. No boating advisories at the moment from the Bermuda Weather Service, although we're not far from that threshold with 3 to 6 foot waves outside. The biggest issue is the threat for a lightning strike if you're going to be venturing out. So be really careful out there. Passing showers possible tonight, maybe the odd lightning strike. Tomorrow, very warm, breezy, a brief shower or 2. Most of the moisture is going to stay to the west. That's what Futurecast is indicating as well. But we're near the eastern edge of the main batch of moisture for the next 2 days through Friday, even into Friday night. It's kind of the same story with areas to the west seeing quite a bit of rain. And here over Bermuda, we're near the eastern ragged edge of things. We are keeping an eye on an area of disturbed weather over the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico that could become a tropical depression, maybe, not terribly likely, but maybe at the end of the week. It's hot in London, big heat wave in the western part of Europe. 97. Meanwhile, we've had record lows in the central United States. So while we're running cool in some parts of the U.S., downright hot there into Western Europe, and it's warm in other parts of the region. The extended forecast features scattered spotty showers. Again, spotty to scattered. Perhaps scattered would be a little more widespread with the coverage. And there might be times when we see a few showers cross the island Thursday and on Friday. We're going to go drier, but still very warm on Saturday. Sunday and Monday, we're looking at highs backing off slightly, but but it's still downright warm with very little or no relief during the nighttime hours. So be safe out there and keep your eyes to the sky again. Thunderstorm advisory is in effect tonight, and the heat is not really leaving us anytime soon with that 86-degree water temperature surrounding us.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane actually the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
He may have stepped down from his role as a politician, but that doesn't mean he will go out quietly. In a second part of our interview with former St. George's MP and Mayor Kenneth Bascom, Try Trot asked him if he was disappointed that he was never able to secure the return of a police station in St. George's. Here's his response.
Well, I would say that was one of the downsides of my political career. However, I'll make you aware that now that I don't have any official strings tied, I can be a little more radical, and I will continue to espouse that I believe that we need to have the police station on the eastern side of the bridge. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Even though people will say south side is just a few minutes away.
And that's why we continue to have the situations that we have in the town, because I believe that the people have someone watching Swing Bridge, and when they see the vehicle going out of St. George, that's when they do what they have to been doing to my friend Mr. Card. And numerous people are saying that he needs to do this, he needs to do this. I believe that the police need to be in the town of St. George. At one time, they checked all the businesses, certain times of the day, certain times of the evening, and I believe they need to resort back to that. And when this new police commissioner came on board, I was under the opinion that he would be bringing some new initiatives, and he's, in my opinion, doing the similar thing that's being done previously. And the very unfortunate part of it, the 5 days after the mayor election, because that was one of the things that I highlighted, you had a break-in, and then another, 7 days, you had another one, and then 2 months later, you had another one. Now, people say Mr. Card should do this, but I would hate to think that all of the businesses within the town of St. George would now start putting up metal shutters. I believe that would be something.
Think it's come to that?
Well, that's what people are asking for. And being a UNESCO World Heritage Site, I would believe that we should have a police station. People say, why? I say, well, do you have an office so you can go and make your reports and do? I believe that the police should have a permanent building where they can go, fill out their daily reports, eat their lunch.
Try Trot speaking there with former St. George's Mayor Kenneth Bascom. Well, there will be a one-lane closure along the Causeway Bridge this Sunday, July 28th. The closure is so that bridge maintenance can be carried out by work crews. The lane closure will begin at 7:30 a.m. Works are expected to conclude around 6 p.m. on Sunday. Those who are traveling to the L.F. Wade International Airport on Sunday are strongly advised to plan ahead to avoid delays. The Ministry of Public Works apologizes for any inconvenience that may be caused due to these works being carried out. We'll be back after this short break.
Unity Fest is slated to be the biggest concert of the summer with headliner Bougie Banton, and it got a whole lot better with the local lineup being announced. So on August 17th at National Sports Center, you're going to see Bougie Banton, Rainy Wonder, Agent Sasko, aka Assassin, and Massacre are expected to be on stage along with local artists Jesse Seymour, Kadanja, Live Wires, all backed by the Wall Street Band. And there's a whole DJ lineup for the night, including the mighty Stone Love out of Jamaica. There's also local DJs, DJ Chubb, DJ iBreeze, Juggling Jason, Black Star, Blacker Knights, Tony Cross, Ryan Saeed. And Unity Fest is hosted by Jabba and Young Chow of New York's Hot 97. There are limited tickets left, so make sure you buy them at www.unityfestivalbda.com. But if you want to buy them locally, you can get them at People's Pharmacy, Choices, and Summer Supermart in St. George's.
If your doctor refers you for a CAT scan, think of Bermuda's leading private CT service, Brown Darrow Clinic, where we pay special attention to privacy, comfort, and parking right outside our door. And our scans are read at the Leahy Hospital, Brown Darrow Clinic. Building trust one patient at a time. 297-3333. Now open evenings and weekends.
You can count on us.
Get grilling this cup match with certified Angus beef bone and ribeye steaks. Only $16.99 per pound. Whole seedless red ripe watermelons, just $12.99 each. Hellman's mayonnaise, only $5.49 for a 30-ounce jar. Hunt's barbecue sauce, just $2.09 for an 18-ounce bottle. Sargento shredded cheese, only $3.89 for a 7-ounce package. Shelley Bay, Heron Bay, Modern Mart, and Price Right Warwick stores will be open both days of cup match from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You can count on us.
And we must apologize to you tonight. Due to technical issues, we will not be able to bring you our nightly sports report, but we are looking to have it back tomorrow night. Again, sorry for that. Concern about the condition of the Port Royal Golf Course as the island prepares to host the first official PGA tournament in the island's history, the Bermuda Championship. Opposition MP Michael Dunkley, an avid golfer, says while the OBA supports the event, it appears there is significant work to be done to get the Port Royal Golf Course ready in time for when the tournament tees off in October this year. Mr. Dunkley spoke with Bermuda Broadcasting News after highlighting his concerns via a number of questions put to Zane De Silva, the Minister of Tourism and Transport.
When we make steps like this, we need to make sure that we plan and bring the event off as best we can. There will be hopefully a great audience watching. And I asked the questions because I'm worried about the preparation and the conditioning of the golf course. I was up at Port Royal and there were no sand in the bunkers. Now the tournament's going to take place at the end of October, so we have about 2.5 months to get ready. And if there's no sand in the bunkers at this time, and there are other maintenance issues, we need to make sure that we support the workers up there to get the job done. I asked the question what the budget would be to bring the course back to the PGA Tour specified conditions. And I was quite surprised and shocked really that the minister said that they were finalizing the budget at the current time. Well, we can't take sand off South Shore beaches. You have to bring it in, and it's going to be quite expensive to do. And then when you do all the traps, it has to settle for a while. So I would have thought that all of these things were considered before we even signed the deal for the tournament. We have a lot of work to do, and it's a summertime, so things will grow well, but it makes it very difficult to get the course in proper condition. I also asked questions about which company would be managing the event. And the minister did give an answer to that, because obviously managing an event of this nature with significant responsibilities, it requires a great deal of specialties in the area, and we only have one chance to make that first impression with the PGA Tour.
Confident that we have the wherewithal to have that course in good condition in time for that tournament?
It can be done, but if the minister says at the present time we're finalizing budget numbers to bring the course up to snuff, that raises a great concern for me, because unless the minister is bringing in the sand himself and hasn't told anybody about it, he might be, through Island Construction. I know to buy a load of sand to fill all the bunkers at Port Royal and do everything else you need, it's just not going to be $20,000. It's probably going to be north of $300,000. You have to barge it in, and that takes time in itself. So if it hasn't been if the budget hasn't been set, if it hasn't been ordered, it's going to be at least 4 or 6 weeks until it gets here, and that will put us at September. Doesn't leave a lot of time, so they have to get working. I was made to understand that a lot of the irrigation system's not working. The greens need work to be done to them, so the minister is known for having a lot of energy. They better finalize that budget. They better get to work so we can meet the deadline.
A report in Bloomberg's online publication says U.S. corporations brought back offshore profits in record numbers last year, with nearly half the repatriated funds coming from low or no tax countries, where companies had stashed cash prior to the 2017 tax law. Nearly half of the cash U.S. multinationals brought back onshore during 2018 came from Bermuda, $231 billion, according to figures released by the Commerce Department's Bureau of Economic Analysis. Ireland was the third largest source of repatriated cash, but the value is suppressed because of confidentiality rules in the country, according to the report. And we'll be back with CBS Health after this short break.
Sears is Bermuda's largest home appliance store with over 200 appliances in our showroom. We have refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, washers and dryers. Sears has a wide selection of craftsman's tools and accessories. Beautify your home with our lawn and garden tools. We have everything you need for outdoor entertaining. Located at 41 Victoria Street, Sears is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sears, reliable delivery, quality service, and everyday low prices.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present the 117th Cup Match Classic in St. George's this year. Breakfast at Cup Match starts our day with Ian Rollins on Power 95 at 8:30 a.m. Join Ian as he interviews team captains, players, former players, and fans who will share their thoughts and predictions on this year's game. At 9:45 a.m., our league commentary team with Alan Richardson, Dwayne Sluggo Levra, and newcomer Alan Douglas will provide an in-depth analysis on the Cup Match game. Stay with our team Thursday, August the 1st and Friday, August the 2nd. This special presentation has been presented by lead sponsor HSBC, Lindo's Group of Companies, Colonial Insurance Limited, Phoenix Stores, Surface Trans Limited, East End Asphalt, and BAC Universal Electric.
The diet that can prevent excessive weight gain during pregnancy, and a discovery that may help diabetics. Kenneth Craig has some of the day's top health stories.
Researchers at the University of Michigan have identified an enzyme that may help wounds heal faster. The discovery could be significant for diabetics since treatment is costly for foot wounds and ulcers that won't heal.
A new study finds air pollution in the U.S. is linked to over 30,000 deaths a year. Researchers in London say superfine hazardous particles emitted from cars, power plants, and factories can be inhaled into the lungs, increasing the risk of a heart attack and lung diseases. And another study out of London shows pregnant women who eat a diet rich in nuts, olive oil, fruit, and unrefined grains can reduce their risk of gestational diabetes and weight gain. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
And thank you for tuning in this Wednesday evening. We hope to see you again soon. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company,